Success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about living a life that reflects your values and priorities. Welcome to Engineer Your Success, the podcast that helps you lead with intention and live fulfilled.
Welcome to the Engineer Your Success podcast, where we help you win at work and at home. I'm Dr. James Bryant, your host for the show. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different, and I would love to get your feedback. I have a few updates to provide, but then we are going to have the first in what I hope to be a recurring episode type called From the Inbox to the Mic, where we're going to feature an email response and or comments that we've received from our audience. So let's start with some updates. The Win by Design newsletter has officially launched and it's on Substack. If you want weekly insights delivered straight to your inbox, you can find it at winbydesign.co. Go check it out and subscribe. We're going to be doing a newsletter highlight episode on the podcast in the coming weeks. The newsletter is published every Thursday, and there are currently 6 issues that are up on the site. The 7th one will be going live this week. Again, go to winbydesign.co to sign up for the newsletter. Next, I want to talk about the progress on the book, The Engineer's Blueprint for Success. Stop balancing and start winning. I just received feedback from our publisher, Jet Launch Publishing, with some edits that I'm currently working through. Working with Jet Launch has been great. I worked with them on a collaboration book project, Your Message is the Business, that I did with Donna Cundy. We have a few more edits before I'll be looking for some beta readers that will be willing to read an advanced copy of the book and provide a review and or an endorsement. If you're interested in doing that, send me an email at james@engineeryoursuccessnow.com. Again, that is james@engineeryoursuccessnow.com. I would love to hear from you and look forward to partnering with you to get the book out, to get the word out, and continue to put resources in hands to other leaders. I don't have a release date yet, but when I do, I will be sure to keep you all informed. So today's episode, I mentioned this before, is what we're calling From the Inbox to the Mic. So we're going to hear from a longtime email list subscriber and podcast listener named Ben. I'm going to read the email that I sent to him, and then you're going to hear an AI voice reading Ben's response. Okay, here's the email. Hey, Ben, you may or may not know that I've been working on a book. The working title is The Engineer's Blueprint for Success. Stop balancing and start winning. One of the core concepts that I'm exploring is what I call dynamic balance. It's not the typical work-life balance. It's not the perfect 50-50 split or equilibrium that we've all been chasing. It's something different entirely, and I think it might change how you see winning at work and at home. Over the next few weeks, I am going to unpack this concept with you. But here's the thing. I do not want to just tell you about it. I want to invite you into the process. So I'm curious about your story, about the myths that you've been sold, about the real struggles you face trying to win both at work and at home, because the book is not just mine. It is shaped by the leaders who I work with and the people who get what it really is like to be an engineer trying to have it all. So here's what I want from you. I want to hear your story. What does work-life balance actually cost you? What myth about success have you been chasing? What would it look like if you stopped trying to balance and started winning? Reply to this email. Tell me what's on your mind. Your story might end up in the book or part of a special podcast miniseries. Your insight might help another engineering leader realize that they are not alone. Next week, we're going to talk about the myth itself and why the standard definition of work-life balance is actually keeping you stuck. But first, I want to hear from you. The coach in your corner, Dr. James Bryant. So that was the email that I sent out to my email list talking about the book. And so now we're going to follow this by an AI voice that is reading Ben's response. Again, this is Ben's own words spoken by an AI voice.
I hope you are doing well. While I have been silent on your emails, I do read many of them. This one caught my attention, and hopefully I can provide some insights that will help you with your endeavor of building a book. Note, I started this email about 2 weeks ago, and I've come back to it every 2 or 3 days as time permits. Please follow up with any clarifying questions or additional insights. What does work-life balance actually cost you? This is such a great question because it really got me thinking about what it means when someone says they want work-life balance. In my opinion, work-life balance is like the teeter-totter we used to play on at the park. It was never balanced. It was always a game of moving each side up and down. This is what work-life balance becomes for so many of us. It's a constant effort to reach balance, yet we're consistently either prioritizing one over the other, or worse, rating which one will get priority today, tomorrow, or the next day. The balancing can be achieved for some time, but similar to the teeter-totter when we were kids, our legs get tired of moving up and down. Or even worse, someone always got bored and went to the swings or the slide, and the teeter-totter became completely unbalanced. Unfortunately, this happens in our adult lives when it comes to home and work. The balance can be incredibly difficult to manage, resulting in being tired, frustrated, or worse, apathetic. You asked, what myth about success have you been chasing? I would say that hard work always pays off. Now, someone could assume I'm making this comment for a variety of reasons. But let me explain what I mean. In specific situations, this statement is 110% true. Working harder generally results in more positive results. We see this in sports. We see this in our own personal lives, especially when it comes to diet and exercise. Hard work and dedication pay off. But in business, working hard doesn't always get rewarded like we think or hope. In today's work environment, there's constant change and a "what have you done for me lately" type of attitude. Or even worse, hard work gets completely ignored because leadership creates moving KPI targets, or leadership changes result in different needs, wants, and requests. The last question that you asked me to consider is, what would it look like if you stopped trying to balance and started winning? What a great question, and one that has me really thinking about what my priorities are in life and in work. And yes, they are different. The short answer: if I stopped trying to balance and just tried to win, I'd be at peace with my life and the choices I've made. As we all know, that's much easier said than executed. I think it's also important to identify what each of us, as individuals, considers winning. If I look at my life today, I'm very lucky to have 2 young adults working through their high school years, identifying who they are, who they want to be, and how they'll provide a positive impact in society today, tomorrow, and into the future. My wife and I are very fortunate that both of our kids have a drive to be better than we are, which I believe is a goal for many parents. Ultimately, winning for me is recognizing I cannot control the uncontrollable, and I need to focus on the items I can control and impact. Have a great weekend, and keep up the great work. Ben.
So now I want to spend some time speaking directly to Ben. He and I have talked since the email exchange, and it was a great time. I had a great time connecting with him and learning more about his story. So here's my response. Ben, thank you for taking the time to respond to the email request and thoughtfully answering the questions. I love the teeter-totter example because that's exactly right. Quote unquote, balance requires constant motion and constant correction. And when we tell ourselves we're supposed to find some perfect equilibrium and hold it there, we set ourselves up to fail. And the myth that you name, hard work always pays off, I appreciate how honest you were about the nuance there. You're right. There is a lot of areas of life where effort really does track with results: sports, fitness, direct individual effort. But sometimes in leadership and in business, it doesn't always work that way. And you said it yourself. Ben, in today's work environment, there's constant change. There's a "what have you done for me lately" attitude. Leadership shifts, the KPI targets, or the leadership itself changes. And sometimes the hard work just gets ignored, not because it wasn't real, but because the effort to achieve it goes unseen. Effort does not always equate to the results that you want. I was talking to my wife this morning about one of our friends who, despite volunteering and leading special projects and exceeding expectations on their performance review, got passed over for a promotion. This is exactly the issue that you were describing in your response. And when I think about the coach in your corner type segment for this episode, I want to hone in on this. When most people talk about work-life balance, they assume that the imbalance only runs in one direction: too much work, not enough at home. The advice is maybe not always, but most likely you need to spend more time with your family. You need to slow down. You need to step back. But that is not the whole picture. Plenty of people have a great home life. Things are good there, but the promotion that they want, the growth they're after professionally, it's just not there. It didn't come. And that's not a work-life balance problem in the way that we usually think about it. That's a different kind of stuff. And that's why, if you've listened to this podcast and you've heard anything that I've done, I typically will start engagements with the 3 questions that changed my life. And also, the book is built around this as well, particularly in the introduction and early chapters. And those 3 questions are this: do you want to win at work? Do you want to win at home? Are you winning at work and at home? I don't presume that your home life is the issue. There are times when work becomes where we need to start our journey. So if any of this has resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Check the link in the show notes, sign up for the weekly newsletter at winbydesign.co. Let me know what you thought about this episode, this blend of me talking and AI reading a response. I'm thinking about using a similar approach when we highlight the newsletter, having some type of AI response read portions of the newsletter entry and then listening to some commentary by me. Hit me up. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. You can reach me at james@engineeryoursuccessnow.com. Again, remember to sign up for the weekly newsletter at winbydesign.co. This is Dr. James Bryant, the coach in your corner, and I want you to be great this week. Thanks.